do we do? What do we do? In 1996, I started the Virginia Institute for Public Policy. It took me several years to understand that politicians don't really care about how good your policy reports are. You can be the Hoover Institution, and they don't care if you're putting out great policy. So 5 years later, 2001, I started the Tuesday Morning Group Coalition. This is a group of people from all over the state who meet here in Richmond once a month at the Bull and Bear Club right up East Carey Street to talk about fiscal policy, taxes, spending, property rights, education reform, Second Amendment, whatever. Well, suddenly, all of a sudden, our policy work started getting much better. Now, I say that facetiously because politicians started paying attention to it. Well, it wasn't because our policy work had gotten any better. It was because these people knew we could shut down the damn phone system if we wanted to. It's because they understood we had people in their district who could show up at their meetings and call their office and email their office and fax their office and get their neighborhood and their fellow citizens to do it. And all of a sudden, we started having an impact. In 2006, we came out with this. It's called the Freedom and Prosperity Agenda. It's an 11-plank legislative agenda. In the last 4 sessions of the General Assembly, these planks have been passed, not all of them. We got rid of, first of all, the Virginia state tax. Then we got rid of the annual prepayment of the sales and use tax, something that small businessmen really hate. In 2007, we completely reformed the eminent domain law of Virginia. Virginia was one of the worst states in the country in its protection of property rights. It's one of the best now, except we need to take that law and put it into a constitutional amendment. In 2009, this last session of the General Assembly, we got a budget transparency bill passed that requires the state government to next year, fiscal year 2010, start putting the state budget online so that people, the citizens of Virginia, can see how their money is being spent. We're currently working on a legislative agenda for next year. Crystal Slavinsky, right here in the front, is our Vice President of Government Affairs. That's a nice way of saying our lobbyist. And she's the one that goes down and meets with these people every day during the General Assembly session. An unenviable job. So, how did we do this? What do we owe our success to in the last 4 years? We owe our success to the fact that we've started working together. We owe our success to the fact that those people out there, I don't care whether they're Democrats, Republicans, Libertarians, Constitutional Party, I don't care. If their principles were alike, we started working together. The person that carried our eminent domain bill in the House of Delegates was a Democrat. It's Johnny Joanno from Portsmouth, Virginia. Typically, we work with Republicans, but we're going to work with anybody that endorses our principles, and we're going to bash anybody that doesn't endorse our principles. Last thing, I would encourage you to get involved. If you're not involved in a Tea Party, please get involved. If you're not showing up at town hall meetings, please get involved with town hall meetings. Get involved with FreedomWorks. It's a great organization. If you want to participate in the Tuesday morning group up at the Bull and Bear Club, contact either Crystal or myself. You can go to the website, www.churchandquids.org. You can call me, call Crystal. We'd love to have you. But let me finish on this one note, which some people in the room will not listen to, but it's important that you do. When I say that we are loyal to principles, when I say that we're not loyal to party politics, I mean just that. So if there's anybody out there right now who's sitting there thinking, wink, wink, but you're really a Republican, aren't you? No, I'm not. So if you're motivated by free markets and free people and private property and parents being in charge of their children's education, please get in touch with us. We'd love to work with you.
You also need to sign up to get the Tertium Quiz update. They have a great blog, all the nitty-gritty on what's going on in Virginia politics. And can you hold up the healthcare study you just published? I got this in the mail the other day. It's great. It's really easy to think that a lot of these issues are just on the federal level. They're up there. But this examines how exactly Virginians will be impacted by the healthcare reforms currently up in Congress. And it's great, great stuff. Thank you. Yes, thank you.
Hello, my name is John Quapis. I just want to mention one thing about the Hoffman race up in New York, 23rd District. That is an extremely important race because it's a question of conservatives versus Republicans at this point. If Hoffman wins, it sends a very strong message to the Republican leaders around the country that they can't ignore the conservatives, that they can't try to push into the left, but that they need to bring the conservatives, expand the party with conservatives.
Right.
They need help up there. They need donations. The website for Hoffman is DougHoffmanForCongress.com.
They take PayPal.
Pardon? Yeah, they pay PayPal. So DougHoffmanForCongress.com. Get online there and give them, $25, $50. It'll help to defeat this really liberal Republican.
No more Republicans.
That's right. Thank you.
One F or two?
2 Fs.
2 Fs. FreedomWorks. Everybody having a good time? We're 2 away. We're 2 away from Dick Armey. By the way, John Taylor, I will tell you, is I really think that you ought to hook up with him and the Virginia Institute for Public Policy. He is truly about the cause being freedom and liberty. I think you'll find that to be the case when you investigate him. All right, your next speaker here has been very active, Tabitha Hale. Now listen to this. Interactive media coordinator. She's part of the FreedomWorks team, which is why she's speaking here. She's the new media director for Smart Girl Politics. Okay? By the way, 60% of the women voted for Obama, so we need Smart Girl Politics.
No kidding.
The host of Raising Hale, H-A-L-E, on RFC Radio. There's another radio station other than the WRVA? Right. The proprietor of PinkElephantPundit.com and a right-wing news contributor, Tabitha Hale.
Expectations set there. Hi, I heard a lot of you cheer for Smart Girl Politics, and that's really exciting because I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the importance of online activism. How many of you heard about this event on the internet in some capacity, via email, via website? Awesome, awesome. So a lot of you are already starting to connect. How many of you showed up at the 9/12 march because of... Awesome. Okay, good. Now, I can honestly say, I got involved about a year ago, and I just started blogging because I didn't know what else to do. I actually worked in the music industry before this, so I have no political background, and I just didn't know what else to do, so I started writing, but nobody was reading, and that really stressed me out because I would read my traffic reports and get a little sad every day. So I started getting online because I was like, I know I have things to say, I'm reading these things, and I want people to listen. So I started on Twitter. How many of you are on Twitter? Is anybody on Twitter? Okay, good. Oh, you guys are awesome. It's so important to connect online, and I'm just going to tell you I know a lot of you are familiar with SGP, and I'm going to talk a little bit about how that started and just give you an example of how powerful the internet is in the grassroots movement. We started as an ad on Stacey Mott's blog, and she simply said, I want to start a conservative women's movement, let's do something. She got 60 emails that week, and out of that, we formed our core membership team. 2 months later, we officially kind of launched ourselves, and we're now up around almost 20,000 members. We held our first conference, and that's less than 10 months later. We held our conference, our first conference last month, which was incredible. We had so many men and women, guys. It's not just a women's thing. But he mentioned 60% of women voted for Obama. Women need a place to go within the political movement. We have gotten lost for so long, and the fact that there are moms now that they're out of excuses. There's no reason to not be involved. There's no reason to not vote. There's no reason to not be online and start connecting. Because the least you can do is check your Facebook account every day. A lot of you don't have the time. Check your email. A lot of you don't have the time. I mean, and